Missouri pulled one of the biggest upsets of the season with an overtime win over #1 South Carolina. And of course, the Tigers earlier this year won 13 consecutive games before falling by 6 on this court a couple of games ago against the Gamecocks.
And if you reference Missouri's win over South Carolina, you have to reference it by also mentioning they played with 8 players and were without Asia Blackwell in that ball game. It shows the depth and it shows the patience that this team has of being able to run their system.
LSU takes it over after the first Missouri possession. This LSU lineup is 9-1 when this quintet starts.
Great start for LSU with Jalen Cherry hitting that little 15-foot wing shot.
Good ball movement by South Carolina, and the layup is dropped home by Haley Troop, a senior out of Gadsden, Alabama. This is her 15th start, averaging 8 a game. Afua shoots that jump shot from the elbow and misses. She has become a weapon from 15 feet in that area. And Missouri's starting lineup is on the bottom of your screen right now. Blackwell, the one to watch inside. She is a tremendous player. And Victor, the last 2 times that LSU has played at home, we've seen some of the best big people down low in women's basketball in Aaliyah Boston for South Carolina. And certainly for this team, Blackwell. That's a big load to handle. We'll see how that plays out.
You can also see Blackwell's not afraid to bring the ball up the floor. She just took a 3-pointer last time down. Now dribbles behind the legs and pulls another outside jump shot. So she's aggressive at the glass, but not afraid to bring the ball outside.
Cherry can't penetrate, kicks it out. 3 ball up in the air by the leading 3-point shooter for LSU. That's Kayla Pointer. It rattles out. She's got 25 trays this year, and that's #1 on the team. She also is the leading scorer and second leading rebounder despite her backcourt presence in Kayla Pointer. This for 3, and Missouri will take a lot of them. It's off the mark by Haley Frank. She's got 37 of them this year, Victor, and that's #1 on Missouri. Pointer scooping, missing. Last 2 shots by Pointer have been very close, but have not gone down.
Well, a good sign for LSU. Pointer able to find a lane and drive to get to the rim. We'll see how LSU keeps defending the long ball as there's another 3 by Missouri as they come out launching early.
Troop missed it from deep. The loose ball picked up by Faustine Afua. Pointer career against Missouri, pretty good. Over 15 a game, 7 threes, 3.5 assists, and almost 2 steals, and there's Afua.
Nice little drop step. She backed into the lane. Nice job of getting the ball to her down deep in the lane. So just 1 dribble and a turnaround 6-footer.
Afua averaging just under 10 a game with about 6 rebounds. Missouri again lets it fly quickly and can't find it. Newby with a rebound. That's loose into Afua's hands. Cherry lost it. Afua was right there to make something happen.
They'll take that all day with Faustine Afua finding success right there in that 5 to 8 foot range by the basket.
Blackwell for 3. Missed it left. Ball tipped around and grabbed by Cherry on the baseline. Jalen dumps it off down low to Afua. Fakes left, spins right, scores.
Missouri's going to need a timeout.
Afua, 3 straight buckets for the Tigers of LSU.
Well, LSU's found success pounding on the inside. They found a mismatch that hasn't worked so far for Missouri against Afua. She's backed her defender in now 3 possessions. They fed her the ball. Easy jump shot for her.
Cherry got the first bucket. Afua has the next 3. It's 8-2 LSU with 6:09 remaining in the first quarter.
Did a lot more. We're going to keep our eye on that rebounding number. LSU good as a team, but Asia Blackwell is the real deal for Missouri.
Indeed, she is. Both of these teams have the capacity to score a lot of points. LSU closed very quickly to prevent Hansen from shooting down on the left block.
And coming out of that timeout, Blackwell did not come back on the floor for the Missouri Tigers.
That's a bad pass at the feet of the Missouri player. Hansen now will take the 3, and she rips it. Lauren Hansen now has 32 triples, a communications major. She has started every game this year, Hansen, and she was the one who hit the game-winning layup with 1/10 of a second remaining against South Carolina in overtime. Newby working hard to get that offensive rebound.
Boy,
now, this young lady, Victor, in my opinion, is underrated and also is the glue in many circumstances that keeps LSU working hard. She is relentless in rebounding and defending.
Well, she got the rebound there, and then she drew the foul, but what you won't see in the stat book is how she started it 15 feet away at the elbow and ran down. Sarah Rose Smith turned around to block her out, and Newby was already past her.
Newby has not been a particularly good free throw shooter. In fact, she shoots better from the field than she does from the stripe. She's 52.6% at the free throw line, but she hits both of those. And the Tigers have a 10-5 lead of LSU. Mama Dembele, the point guard, tries to get it started for South Carolina, but it's a turnover.
Quick hands by Ryan Payne there as she drove the length of the floor through everybody and then tried to go up for the layup. Payne got a hand in there and knocked it off her leg.
Payne averaging a little under 6 points a game, 2.3 rebounds. From Los Angeles, she started her career at TCU, and the Tigers rip one from deep with Pointer dropping it home. That's her first bucket. That's her 26th completed triple of the season. LSU by 8. A quick three from just to the left of the key is up and good. Haley Frank strikes it home. That's 38 of them for her this year. And the arrow is going to favor the LSU Tigers. Alexis Morris rejoins the game, and Ryan Payne goes to the bench for the Tigers.
Go back to that last possession for Missouri where you see Kayla Pointer and Faustina Fua got tangled up as one player went down calling for the switch, and by the time Pointer got back out to defend it, that shot was already up and in.
That was by Haley Frank. She averaged 12.7 last year. She's averaging 15.6 this year. Gusters is in the game. That bounces and bounces and rolls and goes for Jalen Cherry. She had the first bucket of the game for LSU, and she makes it 15-8 with that one.
Boy, she had next to no room to drive the baseline. They tried to set a high screen for her. She went baseline up and under to put that in.
Missouri launches another three. Haley Frank can't get it to go. Don't think Haley Frank can't shoot, Victor. She's 46+% from three-point range. Gusters working hard, lays it up and in.
Well, they took Faustina Fua out. They put Hannah Gusters, and both of them are going right at the same player, and that's number 43, Haley Frank, who you see her numbers here, 46% from deep. She's number 1 in the conference in both field goals and field goals made from behind the three-point line.
This is LSU's biggest lead, 17-8. 3.5 to go. First quarter, it's been fairly up-tempo. LSU scoring from short range. South Carolina, or I beg your pardon, Missouri, trying to catch up from outside.
Well, if we're going to talk about Haley Frank and how good she is from the outside, we have to mention that so far in this ballgame, she is who LSU is picking on. Faustina Fua hit 3 straight. They called timeout. She's out. And now Gusters is in, and first possession, they went right to Gusters and scored over Frank as well. And
Blackwell has returned to the lineup for Missouri. She's being guarded by Autumn Newby.
Izzy Higginbottom draws the foul. She tried to go for the layup and missed, tried to come back in for the rebound, and Autumn Newby already had possession, so she gets called for the foul.
Izzy Higginbottom was a big scorer in high school at Batesville, Arkansas. She had 57 points, which is an Arkansas State record in a 5A quarterfinal game in the high school playoffs. Pointer gets bumped off course. Newby takes that one from 16. Can't get it to go. Cherry will defend in backcourt. Hansen lopes up into front court and almost lost the dribble, but controls it. A 5'8 junior from Long Island, New York is Hansen. She started her career at Auburn. 10 seconds on the shot clock. LSU's lead is 9. This for 3, and there's a push-off.
They're going to count it.
They are going to count the shot.
Yep.
Kim Mulkey can't believe it, but they are going to count the shot. So this is an opportunity for quite a few points for Missouri.
They called the foul on Gusters because she went through the Missouri player who's setting a screen. Take a look here as they come back and they're going to switch off. Watch as she goes through number 4. There's the foul called, and then the shot went up. Now, it looks like they may go take a look at it. I think Kim Mulkey was begging them enough that they might need to take a look, and I think what they're going to see, Lynn, if you look at it from that angle, that foul got called well before the ball left her hand.
There was no question that Gusters made illegal contact and will be called for the foul, but let's see what the officials decide about the validity of the three-point shot. Gusters is number 20. There's the foul.
There's
oh,
the
yeah,
foul.
That's way ahead of the release of the ball.
The officials still haven't gone to the review yet. They're still discussing angles and maybe what each of them saw on the floor.
And it appears they will review the tape. I don't think it will take very long.
The play on the floor is under review to see whether or not the offensive player is in the act of shooting when the defensive foul occurs pushing through the screen. And it's going to be when the referee makes the call.
That's Dee Cantner, a veteran official and a very good one. Michael McConnell is working with her, and so is Carlina Tobin.
So
There's
goes
the foul.
shoulder, yep. Now, from that angle, what you don't see is the official that makes the call, but the official who's just to the left of the screen is the one that's signaling the three-pointer.
So Dee Cantner, who is reviewing the tape, is the referee. Let's take a different look at this, and we can see Dee Cantner.
It's going to come from the right side. There's the foul. Well, you see the bottom official come in from the right side and says yes. So if as Dee said on the microphone, it's when the official made the call. It looks like they made the call after the ball left her hand, so it would be good. Let's see what they say.
After review, the player was in the act of shooting when the referee recognized the defensive foul. The play stands and is confirmed.
All right, so
go.
there you have it, straight from Dee Cantner's lips, and you can't get a better explanation than that.
Well,
I love this feature that's come about in the last few weeks in SEC women's basketball, where we are hearing directly from the referee explaining what occurred. We can hear it on the broadcast. Others in the arena can hear it, but it is not available over the PA system.
yeah, and you're right. It's great to hear from the officials because, as she explained, is from when the official made the call. When we first saw the replay, it's clear that the contact comes before the shot. But if the official makes the call once the shooting motion has started, then they're going to count it. That's why they stayed with the call on the floor.
So this could turn out to be a 5-point play.
With Missouri having possession, I wouldn't count against it being a 6. Who's to say they wouldn't take another 3?
Indeed, you are correct. Let's see what Missouri does here. Trailing by 17-11.
Run a staggered screen by the free throw line. LSU did a nice job of defending to take away the long ball.
There is the 3,
Yep,
so a
got it anyway.
6-point possession. And that 3 ball coming from Izzy Higginbottom, a freshman averaging about 6.5 off the bench. Don't foul her either, Victor. She's 16 of 17 from the free throw line. Afua going back to work, tries to use the window. It's off to the left side.
Once again, trying to pick on Frank on the inside. That time, just a little quick of a turnaround shot. Didn't get control.
So far, Blackwell, who has the ball now, has not been a factor. That's good news if you're an LSU fan for the moment. Could be bad news later. Cherry blocks the shot. Foul called as Dembele, Mama Dembele from Spain, hit the deck.
Here's another look as you see her go backdoor on Cherry. Let's see. There's the body contact. Clean with the ball on top. Makes the body contact. You'll see it again right there. Hip to hip when she's behind her trying to jump and block that shot. Clearly body contact to send her to the line.
Dembele was the only freshman in the Southeastern Conference to start every game last year. She's a 55.5% free throw shooter, a rehabilitation sciences major, and she hits the second of 2. So Dembele, who started every game last year as a freshman, has started every game this year. That's a pretty good way to start your career, huh?
Absolutely. Double-digit scoring in 2 of the last 3 games. The only one she didn't score double digits was Auburn. She had no points in that game, but played 43 minutes in that contest.
So the lead is now a scant 2 for the Tigers. Missouri trying to hustle down the other way and get a fast break bucket, but Missouri cannot connect. So LSU with a 2-point lead and 95 seconds to play in the first quarter will regain possession.
Well, let's see if LSU also tries to go back inside. Faustina Fu at top of your screen being guarded by Frank. That's what they've been picking on all first quarter unless they get a break like that.
Kayla Pointer knows what to do with the basketball around the rim. That ends a 7-0 run for Missouri. Missouri had gone through a drought, 0 for 6, of better than 3 minutes before cutting well into this lead. Blackwell tried to feed Hansen, and that results in the 4th turnover for Missouri in the first quarter.
And that's a nice job by Faustina Fua playing defense. They've got their big, LSU's big, and Faustina Fua, and she's out there chasing players around the perimeter on switch defense. But she did a nice job moving her feet. Missouri tried to throw it inside, and it was off target.
Pointer leaning over the dribble, tries to use the pick by Afua, snaps a pass down to her, fakes to the middle, goes left side, and uses her power to score.
Well, there it is. Second quarter, Missouri's going to have to try to figure out what to do with Frank, because right now on defense, she's a liability. Whoever LSU has at the center position is going right at Frank, right at the basket.
8 points for Afua in the first quarter. Less than half a minute to play in the period. Troop was left alone, kicks it outside, 6 to fire, long 3 up, a long 3 is in as Missouri continues to start to heat up. That's the second 3-pointer for Haley Frank, her 39th of the season.
Maybe that's why they don't take her off the floor right now, because she's very good from the outside.
Pointer tries to match it and does. Kayla Pointer, Sultan of String at the end of the first quarter.
How about this in the first quarter? After that timeout that Missouri called after the 6-0 run by LSU, Missouri made 5 field goals the rest of the first quarter. All 5 field goals were 3-pointers.
Well, they started 1 for 7 from the floor. They finished 5 for 8 during that stretch you talked about. And that is going to be a defensive foul. Blackwell will go to the line. Blackwell was not a factor at all in the first 10 minutes. She has no points. She does have 4 rebounds.
There's 4 rebounds, and that's all. Took 3 field goal attempts, and 2 of them were further than 22 feet out.
Last year, she averaged 14.5 points and 11 rebounds. That's her first point of the game. Her father, Ernest, was a Missouri football player who was drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs. Cherry looking inside. Newby wanting it down low. Cherry shakes the defender. Newby throws it across the defense. Alexis Morris can't get it to go. Look at Newby go to work. Can't finish. Can't finish. Afua there. She can't finish. Newby battling for it. 3 or 4 point-blank range opportunities there for the Tigers.
Big fight for LSU, but unfortunately for them, they come away with no points with all that effort. Look at Missouri. All 5 players right now, except for now Frank, cutting through outside the 3-point line.
Indeed. This for 3, right side, on line but long from Frank, who has 3 threes. Early in this game, LSU by 5.
We talked about the way Missouri closed out the first quarter with all 5 field goals being 3-pointers. LSU had 14 points in the paint in that first quarter to just 2 for Missouri. So you can see it lining up, the strengths of these 2 teams.
A traveling violation called against Afua. That's only the second turnover for the Tigers. They've taken care of the basketball. And Afua will get a rest as Gusters returns to the lineup. She played briefly in the first quarter and had a bucket. Newby, Cherry, Pointer, Gusters, and Morris on the floor for LSU.
That's going to be offensive. So Missouri's trying to run somewhat of a little bit of a weave on the outside where you pass the ball, then you go and set a screen and bring another player around. And that time, Mama Dembele, after she passed it up top, had a moving screen. That's the same one that got called earlier on the made three-pointer. That time they called her for the illegal screen.
Dembele and Troop and Higginbottom and Blackwell and Frank, the quintet in the game right now for Missouri. We've played 2 minutes in the second quarter. Pointer was able to draw that foul. And she will shoot a couple of free throws.
And you notice Missouri did change defense coming into the second quarter now. They've gone to a zone. Man-to-man wasn't working because LSU was picking on Frank down on the block.
Ryan Payne replaces Gusters.
LSU making substitutions now to match size for size.
Payne played briefly in the first quarter. And she's back in now as Gusters goes to the bench. So LSU goes a bit smaller with this lineup.
Well, Missouri has Laura Hansen in there. They also brought Haley Troop back in. So their one quote-unquote true big would be Blackwell. So Newby's in there for rebounding just like that. Great feed down the lane.
And it results in the bucket.
How about Newby hitting down the lane and then the dish off to the block for the bucket? But everybody else is small now, but this helps defend Missouri going 5 wide.
That illustrates the point I was trying to make about Newby earlier in the first quarter. She is always around the ball. She is relentless. She doesn't play with flair. She plays with a lot of heart.
Yep. A lot of the things you don't see in the box score. Here's a look now on the defensive end as Frank gets it. Look at the elevation by Morris to float and wait for the ball on the block, and then gets it to knock off of Franks to turn back over to LSU. That's 6 turnovers now for Missouri.
Newby finds Cherry, fakes right, dribbles left, and that ball is taken away as she tried to split a couple of defenders. Stolen by Hansen. Missouri can't finish, though, and the Tigers come the other way. This is Payne on the move. Payne hooks it down low. Tigers will have to reset. 3 ball in the air. Morris on line, but long. Newby runs it down.
Kim Mulkey telling him to slow it down now. Keep that possession. Great job by Newby to run it down.
That's 11 rebounds for Newby already. Can you believe that? You kind of had to do a double check.
I sure did.
I mean, you had to check the stat sheet officially. I got it from our official scorer to my left, though, Randy Hayden. So I'm going with Randy. Can you believe that? 11 rebounds for Newby in, what, 13 minutes? Boy, you just can't stop that. Hansen rips home another one. Newby's career high in rebounds, by the way, is 15. So she's got a very good shot at shattering that.
Breaking that by halftime.
They'll make it 13, her career record. Payne pulls up and scores on the leaner.
Well, it's great composure. It was a 2-on-1 break, but they were shadowing Alexis Morris, who was running the floor with Payne. Nice job of dribbling it in about 8 feet and hitting the pull-up jumper.
The senior who played previously at TCU gets her first hoop. And the Tigers of LSU lead by 7 with just under 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Hansen again on line, but a little bit short off the front rim. Newby with another rebound. My goodness. Morris scores on the deep deuce. That's her first bucket.
That's just her third field goal attempt to hit that one.
31-22, LSU.
13 of the 19 Missouri field goal attempts have come from deep.
And it's unlikely they will stop that. I'm just a bit perplexed why they have not been able to get Asia Blackwell going. She is a tremendous scorer and even a better rebounder.
Well, Well, she shoots 50% from the floor, only 28% from deep. So you know she's not making her money shooting the long ball, but you're right. They haven't even tried to get her the ball anywhere close. Her shot attempts, 2 of the 3 of them, have come from deep.
She's had 1 free throw. We're speaking of Blackwell, who's one of the best low post players in the nation, averaging 16 points and 13 rebounds. The Tigers of LSU have done a great job of preventing her from becoming a factor. Now Jayla Kelly checks into the game. She's in the post position. It's Kelly defending down there, and Guster's got a fingertip on it but couldn't control it. It goes out of bounds off of the LSU post player.
Well, I think Jalen Cherry had the right idea. She wanted to go down low, but it wasn't the best angle. Could have gone out to the wing. Tried it from the top of the key, but 4:51 to go in the second quarter. At the break, from the outside, 2 big keys. LSU 18 points in the paint, a 16-point advantage, and points off of turnovers. LSU 12. Missouri has yet to scratch the scoreboard off an LSU turnover.
A little extra step there by Hansen as she tried to skid to a stop, and that's been a problem as well. 9 first-half turnovers for Missouri. Cherry, Pointer, Gusters, Trozzi, Awa Trozzi in the game for the first time, and Alexis Morris on the floor for LSU right now. Cherry, 13 feet, got it.
Well, that's such a great read, too, by Pointer and Cherry. They tried to do a 1-2-2 zone, and Missouri's point on the zone dropped away. Cherry went right where the hole was and stood there. 10 feet, 12 feet from the basket. Kayla Pointer got it right to her for the easy jumper.
The lead is 11. It's the largest lead of the game. Cherry makes the steal down low, kicks it out to Pointer, and she finishes with the layup. Pointer has 11. Missouri takes a timeout as the Tigers have burst forth with LSU leading 35-22.
Just talked about points off of turnovers, and now LSU has found success. And coming out of the timeout, 40 seconds ago, it's been turnover, and here's a breakaway layup. Kayla Pointer all alone. A quick 4-0 burst for LSU out of the timeout, and Missouri had to call another one to try to figure out what they can do. 4 turnovers for Missouri in the last 2.5 minutes. 6 turnovers overall in the last 5 minutes.
And that was a terrific outlet pass after the steal because it gave Pointer a chance to take 2 steps and get her angle lined up to the rim.
Led it right to her. Missouri not quick enough to get back to try to defend it. Now 16 points for LSU off the Missouri turnovers. And the Tigers from Missouri haven't hit the scoreboard in the last 2 minutes and 33 seconds.
Right now, the leading scorer in the game for Missouri is Hansen with 6 points. Her teammates, her other 4, have combined for only 2 from the free throw line. Quick release, turnaround jumper, nicely done. There's Blackwell.
Well, you just brought that up, why they weren't trying to get it to her more. It's the first real attempt they've given Blackwell in the paint, and she found success with it.
Yes, she did. Pointer looking inside, double low post. LSU breaks off of that. And that's slapped out of the hands of Awa Trozzi, the senior from France. She started her career at Northwest Florida State.
That was Blackwell that went down and double teamed because it was Trozzi on Frank, and that's who LSU has been attacking all game long. Blackwell that time dropped down from the zone defense and had the double team.
Newby got a short rest and returns to the game, and there's a foul.
Called the foul on Alexis Morris with LSU on the inbound play.
Yep. So a rare turnover for LSU in this game. 35-24, LSU by 11 over Missouri's Tigers with a little over 3 minutes to go in the second half, or the second quarter. Blackwell finally decided, well, nobody's guarding me, I'll shoot, and she nailed it.
Well, she hasn't had a lot of success shooting from the outside, so LSU basically inviting, hey, prove it that you can hit it out there consistently.
Pointer will take one from distance and drills it. You had a chance to have a nice conversation with Kayla Pointer today right after shoot-around.
I asked her how much fun she was having, and I really asked her how she was feeling because of all the minutes that she's been playing. She said, I feel great. She also mentioned, though, that she she probably feels comfortable with that because she played so many minutes last year. And last year she really carried the entire team on her shoulder. This year she's got more support.
Well, Blackwell is feeling it now. She backs out and hits the three. So after a miserable start, she's hit 3 buckets consecutively. 2 deuces in that triple.
Now we'll see how LSU will try to defend her now that she's found that outside shot.
Morris with a quick release. Trozzi runs it down in the corner. And apparently the Tigers carried the ball out of bounds.
And Trozzi and Jalen Cherry were both fighting for it. I think Cherry took a little bit of a shot from Trozzi when she went to the corner, trying to go for it, and they both just wound up going out of bounds with momentum.
38-29. LSU leads by that margin with 2:10 to go. Blackwell spinning, can't shoot with Newby on her. Newby's had a heck of a first half defending and rebounding. Now they double up Blackwell. Kick out, the 3 coming. On line but a little bit long by Frank, and there's a rebound foul.
I think they're going to get Izzy Higginbottom trying to go for the rebound and got an elbow into the back of Kayla Pointer, sent her to the baseline.
That is her 3rd foul. Trozzi goes to the bench, and so does Newby to get a rest. Morris from short range in the lane. 2nd bucket for Alexis.
And Haley Frank was so concerned with Hannah Gusters on the baseline, she never had a chance to step in the middle for help defense, and Morris was wide open for that little 5-footer.
Less than a minute and a half to go. 2nd quarter.
Once again, Missouri going 5 wide.
Gusters tries to help on the defense. Blackwell muscles it up. Got the quick release, but it was a little bit too strong off the window. Morris, the leaner, scores. Well, Morris, who has had a slow start tonight, now starting to heat up late in the 2nd quarter. 6 points for her. 13 is the lead for LSU. Blackwell and Afua make contact with each other, and it's going to be a foul on the latter.
Blackwell will take that foul because she had no shot at getting that one up. She dribbled underneath the backboard, bad angle, left her feet, went up for a difficult shot that really didn't have a chance, but she'll take drawing the foul.
That's the 2nd on Faustine. It comes with 41 seconds and some change left in the 2nd quarter. She'll go to the bench in order not to incur a 3rd foul, and Newby replaces her. Newby has had 12 first half rebounds. That's 1 short of her career record. Blackwell bags the 2nd free throw.
LSU as a team has 20 rebounds. Newby has 12 by herself. Missouri as a team has 11.
Newby has more rebounds than Missouri. LSU will have to shoot it before the 2nd quarter clock expires. Pointer uses the Newby pick. Stutter dribble and a foul away from the ball. And I think they're going to get Dembele, yeah.
Sure did.
I think she was illegally tangled up with Newby. So 20 seconds on the shot clock on the reset and 25.5 seconds to go in the quarter and the half. By the way, stay with us. Dee Bro will be our halftime guest. Gusters powers it in. When she gets it there, Victor, there's a very high percentage that she's going to score.
And it's the execution that they got the pass to her with a defender, which was Dora, never even turned around. Kayla Pointer rifled that pass to her. It was an easy layup. The defender didn't know it was coming.
Tigers of LSU lead by 13. Nice pass down low, and the finish by Blackwell, who's had a nice second quarter, and she beats the horn with that layup. But LSU has played crisp basketball.
Advantage LSU.
Pointer with the basketball, LSU in white. Pointer loops it up from the right baseline in traffic and can't get it there. And here comes Missouri with a chance to cut into an 11-point lead. That was easy.
That's way too easy. They've got 5 wide, but somebody in a white jersey has to get into the paint and stop an attack. As you see, Blackwell with 12, Pointer with 14.
And Cherry banks one in. Jalen Cherry has become much more offensive-minded this season than she's been in her career.
That gives her 10 in the ball game, and what she's averaging this year is twice what she's averaged in her time at LSU. She has definitely had a very important role in this LSU offense.
Hanson drives home a 3-ball.
That's
an don't think Missouri can't come back in a hurry.
No, that'll take a lot of, but that's the concerning point if you're LSU. That's a wide open 3. That the first shot before that was a wide open drive to the basket.
Newby goes low, spins and uses the window to score. A very nice pivot down on the block by Newby.
And again, driving home this point, that was on Frank. LSU has found, for whatever reason, they can take advantage of Frank on the baseline, and no matter who she's guarding, LSU, when they go to the paint, that's the player they're going to.
Here's Frank. She fakes Newby into the air. Newby comes up limping. Yeah. Newby has got a problem.
She went to jump at the fake shot that Haley Frank put up there, and as soon as she came down limp.
And she is favoring her left leg or her left ankle. She tried to hop on it a little bit to see if she could get some feeling back or to test the strength. But you can see Newby not able to put a lot of weight, if any, on that left leg.
You see what happened when the ball goes to the top. Newby's going to go. She's going to bite on the ball fake, so she jumps up. And watch, see, it's already hurting when she comes down. At the launch point, she had injured it and came down, and thankfully for her, put all her weight down on her right foot because she was already feeling it on the left.
It was that last step before she jumped where she had the problem. It looked like her leg buckled a bit. Let's take another look at Newby. Watch right here. She's going to run up on the ball, and right there, that's the step that caused her some problems. So LSU very well could be without the services of Newby for the rest of this game. They will take her to the locker room and the examination facilities.
I certainly hope for the best for Autumn Newby, the grad student who came here via Vanderbilt, and as you've talked about in this ball game, what a game she's had because rebounding.
So Newby leads the game with 12 rebounds. That's one shy of her career high. Newby was replaced by Awatrazi, and Morris hits the deep one, but it's going to count for 2. That's 8 points for Morris. She heated up after a slow start. Blackwell is fouled by Afua, and that would be her 3rd.
And they just hit her with a technical. Frustration setting in for Faustine Afua. First gets the foul called on the shot on Blackwell.
Well, that's going to be another foul called against her, is it not? So that's going to make 4 fouls on Afua.
And now the loss of Autumn Newby all of a sudden starts shining a little too bright for LSU, with Newby going back in a wheelchair to the locker room to look at her left foot. Here's what happened on the end now. Blackwell's going to jab step, drive the lane. There's the foul on Faustine Afua, and watch it just a second. Well, you don't need me to tell you what you said, but it was criticizing the official on the call, and that immediately got the technical foul called on her. So Afua has 8 points, 2 rebounds,
and will be on the bench for a while. Blackwell misses the first free throw, hits the second one.
There's Faustine Afua trying to cool off, start walking down the ramp. Being escorted up there just to tell her, hey, we're going to need you. You need to calm down a little bit. We got to get you back in the game. Remember, Kim Mulkey's had a rotation where if she had Faustina Fu and Newbie on the floor, she can replace both of them if she had to with Gusters and with Awatrazi. So you had two bigs coming in with two bigs. Now you've got one in the locker room and one on the bench after a technical foul. All of a sudden, that big game got a lot smaller real quick.
So Blackwell hits one of 2 free throws after she was fouled. Frank shot the technical fouls, hits 1 of 2. And the possession goes back to Missouri, which can cut this to a 7-point lead with this possession. A pretty good look there by Troop, but couldn't get it to go. Cherry running up court the other way. Let's see which way this goes.
And they call that a block.
That may be a break for LSU. Blackwell was called for the foul. That's her first. What do you think, Victor?
Well, we'll see it on a good angle right here as Blackwell tries to slide over.
50-50 call. It goes LSU's way.
And I thought for the shot, I thought Kayla Pointe, saw her point immediately to see where she was standing on the floor within that circle. I thought Kayla Pointe was going to pull up for the little jump shot.
Blackwell gets the miss.
Yeah, either way, it's an empty possession now. You got to be ready to D up.
This for 3 from way back, and it's in by Haley Frank. That's her 4th triple of the game. She's got 41 of them now on the season. She was twice the Gatorade Player of the Year in Missouri in high school.
You see on your screen, Missouri now 9 of 17 from behind the line. Lynn, you just said it a couple of minutes ago. Don't think Missouri can't get back into this ballgame quickly with threes, and that's what they're doing.
The lead is 7 for LSU. A deep deuce misses by Cherry. LSU fights for the rebound. Trazi trying to get it. Ball is still loose. Blackwell is holding it on her back, and the possession arrow is going to go to Missouri. Blackwell did a pretty nice job of not traveling there as she was supine on this court. So the tie ball will result in the Missouri possession with a 7-point deficit. And still plenty of time to play in a third quarter, and we've seen a reversal of fortunes here in the first 4 minutes or so.
Well, and Kim Mulkey's gone to a smaller lineup now to try to help defend against the three-pointers that Missouri's been launching.
That's caught down low and laid in by Blackwell, and what a quick release she has when she catches it in traffic.
Well, and that was Kayla Pointer who's trying to guard Blackwell. Kayla's given up about 5 inches in height, and we know how good Blackwell is on the inside, both scoring and rebounding.
LSU's biggest lead has been 13. Right now it's 5. And a rebound foul is called, perhaps against Blackwell. It's her second.
So far, 12-6 quarter advantage Missouri. We haven't played a full 4 minutes yet.
LSU won the first quarter 24-18 and won the second quarter 20-15. But Missouri right now has the third quarter in hand. The ball knocked back into deep court. Cherry hustles, brings it up, and then throws it away under duress. And right there is Blackwell who lays it in. So a loose ball finally comes up into the possession of Missouri, and Blackwell scores again. That's a 9-0 run now for Missouri. Here come the Missouri Tigers. This is a 3-point game. Pointer. Missouri wanted to travel, but the official called a foul.
What a time for Missouri to find a 9-0 run while on defense. They've held LSU without a point in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. That's how they've made this a 3-point game.
Haley Frank was called for the foul. That's her second.
And look, I know this big game that they won was at home, but just remember, they beat the #1 team in the country with 8 healthy players, and that did not include Blackwell, so they're not intimidated.
That's point number 15 for Pointer.
See how
Kayla
she's
Pointer
drawing fouls. Lynn, that's all that attacking offense when she likes to use that stutter step and get to the lane. Good for LSU to hit those 2 free throws there where she's left 11 points on the board. You know, when you're fighting that hard to draw fouls and you drive the lane and get to the basket, you want to be able to convert it. They send you to the line.
Hanson with a quick release 3. Nothing but the bottom of the cord.
Boy, this has become just target practice for Missouri right now. I mean, as slow a start they had in this ball game to start it in the first quarter, the start of the second half has been red hot.
Hanson has 4 triples. Frank has 4 triples. LSU trying to take it away. Can't hold on. And we've got a 2-point game. LSU has led by as many as 13. That was in the second quarter with 4 minutes left. Dembele dribbles all the way from one sideline to the other. Blackwell wants it on the outside, but she's on the other side away from the ball. That's a very ill-delivered pass and easily intercepted. Now Trozzi, fortunately for LSU, has it knocked right back into her hands.
Yeah, she was trying to force it up the court to Alexis Morris and went right back to her.
A line drive jumper by Ryan Payne goes down for the LSU Tigers, her second bucket off the bench. The lead is 4.
And LSU has somewhat gotten away from trying to score in the paint. A lot of outside shots for LSU here in this third quarter.
Perhaps we'll see a change based on that prediction because Gusters is coming back in the game at the next whistle. Hanson's shot came up a little short. Pointer on the run. Pointer into the lane. Kicks it outside. Cherry. Little shake and bake dribble. Kicks it back. Pointer. Long 3. In the air. Rims out. Blackwell rebound. Blackwell turns on the Jets. Spinning, shooting, and it rolls over the rim. Trozzi was there defending, but Blackwell is coming alive big time.
That's 20 points now, 8 rebounds, and she's closing in on another double-double.
She had no buckets after the first quarter. 54-52. Pointer kicks it to the wing. This is Cherry. Trying to direct some traffic, get some room, splits a couple of defenders. Takes a low percentage shot, but she did draw contact. And we will take a break. Free throws will be coming when we return. And 45% from three-point range and 87% from the free throw line. So she's a sharpshooter. 57% from the floor this year, 86.5% from the stripe, and 46.3% from three-point range. She's got 41 of them now.
She certainly likes conference play. She's averaging 15.5 points a game, but in conference, her points per game average has gone up 4 points just playing in SEC ball games. And with her 12 tonight, she now has 8 straight games in double digits.
Cherry with 11 points. Now 12 as she bags both of them. Faustina Fua has come back in the game for LSU. So she and Gusters are down low for the Tigers.
LSU now going to a bit more of a zone. Trying to stretch that defense a little bit with the way Missouri's been shooting from the outside.
Remember, Afua is playing with 4 fouls. Pointer guarding Frank. Blackwell will take the 3. Just ahead of the shot clock. And Morris will walk it into front court for LSU.
Well, at least in that one possession, a much better look for LSU as Missouri didn't get a clean look at the basket, and playing that zone will also help Afua with those fouls.
Cherry lobs it down to Afua, who scores and is fouled. Faustina Afua from Cherry.
I think they got that on Blackwell. If they did, that's her 3rd. Watch again, and watch how she keeps the ball up high. Great feed by Cherry, up high where the defender can't get her, because at first it's Haley Troop. And Troop, there's no way she's going to get that high to get the ball. Blackwell comes through to try to help on defense and gets the foul, her 3rd. Afua goes to the line.
So Faustine, who had 6 points very early in the game, now has 10. There was a stretch in the first quarter when Faustine Afua, on 3 consecutive possessions, drilled jump shots. She's got 11 points now. The lead is 7 for LSU. Missouri has never led in this game. Frank can't get it there amongst pressure.
And that time Afua did a nice job of just trying to go straight up because she was there contesting rather. Frank tried to challenge her to get that 5th foul.
Gusters makes the catch in traffic. Kicks it back outside. Morris can't get the scoop to go. Blackwell pulls off the rebound. Missouri is trying to cut into a 7-point LSU lead. Both of these teams have played really nice basketball to this point in the season. And there's another 3-ball tossed home by Hansen. She's got 5 of them. And 36 now on the year. The junior out of Long Island, New York.
Yeah, she's 5 of 7 from deep, 5 of 9 for the game. She's missed her only 2 shots. She's taken inside of 22 feet. They're going to take a look at that when the official already going over to the scorer's table saying they're going to take a look at that.
Well, Alexis Morris shot quickly and with confidence and drove it home. I've marked it as a 3.
Well, they did too officially, then they just reversed it to a 2, but the official did say they're going to review it.
So at the next dead ball, we'll take another look at that deep shot by Morris. Scoreboard reads 61-55 LSU, inside of a minute to go. 3rd quarter. Morris dumps it down to Afua, puts it on the floor, spins and misses to the right side. Blackwell with another rebound. How many for her now?
Should be 9.
Maybe, yeah, 9 or 10.
Nope,
yeah, they 10. So another double-double for Blackwell. Hansen fakes, fades, shoots with a lot of arch, and rattles it home. Lauren Hansen, that's her first 2-pointer after 5 3-pointers. So 7 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Pointer rims out. Blackwell with another rebound. And that is the end of the 3rd period. We will wait, and officials will look at a tape to see if Morris's shot was ruled.
That second angle that we saw, you could see that there was some ground right there by her toe, so she wasn't on the line. So it's a nice job of clearing it up. So 5-point lead to go in the 4th.
It's 62-57. LSU leading as we go to the 4th quarter. Gusters lost it as she tried to clear underneath. But it's going to stay with the Tigers. 21 on the shot clock.
Missouri shot 40% in the 1st quarter, 50% in the 2nd quarter, about 60% in the 3rd quarter. 9 of 15 overall, 4 of 7 from deep. LSU in the 3rd quarter, just 6 of 15, 40%.
Cherry falls down but rattles it home. And this young lady, and we've talked about it before, Victor, much more offensive-minded, much more efficacy offensively this year for Cherry. Not by a little, by a lot.
Oh, by a lot. That confidence is certainly there for her, and the team definitely needs her playing like that.
My goodness. Wow. If it's not Frank, it's Hansen. That was Frank. That's 5 threes for her. 64-60. A quick release triple by Morris comes up short. Tigers recover. Morris bags the deuce after the shot was run down by Cherry.
Great job of Jalen Cherry to get to the basket and then get a little clearance so she can find a teammate. Hits Morris breaking into the lane.
The lead is 6 for LSU against the Missouri Tigers. Blackwell catches it low, misses the bunny. That's blocked by Afua after Gusters had initial defense. Missouri takes it away. Reverse layup, left a little bit short, but Missouri is able to come back with it. 3-ball up, unguarded, yes, from the wing.
Well,
you cannot leave that young lady alone. Haley Frank from the moon.
And what a scramble it was with Blackwell, showing why she's the nation's leading rebounder, getting the ball, missing the shot. LSU had 2 opportunities. Hanson steals it, then another wide open three by Frank.
19 points, 12 rebounds for Blackwell. This is Afua working on Blackwell and makes her pay.
And how about in that last possession, that mad scramble before the three, Faustina Afua with a block. And remember, she's playing with 4.
Afua with 13 points. This for 3. It bounced once and fell away. One of the rare misses by Missouri lately from out court. Do not go away. Call a buddy and tell them to tune it in on the SEC ESPN network. A 5-point lead for LSU against an upstart Missouri team. Pointer, quick ball movement. Cherry left side, a little bit long. Afua rebounds. Only her 3rd. Leaner, good by Morris. Morris scoring from a variety of places on the court here in the second half.
Yeah, but she drew a defender out on her to fake the outside shot and went right by Hanson to get that floater in the lane.
Morris with 15. This will be a deuce if it goes. And it rolls out. Here comes Morris loping into front court. Pointer directing traffic. Morris will set it up from straight away. Gusters wants it low and has it and scores. There is a whistle, however.
Yeah, it looks like the official waved it off. Yep, they're going to go baseline LSU after that foul.
Higginbottom returns to the lineup after playing a fair amount in the first half. And also for Missouri, Jayla Kelly, who played briefly in the first half. So Higginbottom and Kelly are on the floor now for the Missouri Tigers. Plenty of time to shoot. 6.5 to go in the game. LSU by 7. This has been a wire-to-wire lead for the Tigers so far. Tigers snap it around. Morris from distance. On line but long. Afua battling for it. Tips it into the hands of Higginbottom, I believe, and she hits the deck, and a foul called. Higginbottom was able to get it and then got tripped up.
Called Kayla Pointer with the leg. That's her first foul. Let's watch it again. It's Faustina Afua trying to keep it alive. Higginbottom gets it. Man, that just looks like players trying to break away down the floor. Just got tangled up. But Pointer gets called. It's right there. She actually steps on Pointer's foot.
Missouri down by 7 with a little more than 6 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Cherry comes out to defend Higginbottom. Higginbottom pulls up. Cherry gets a piece of that. Kelly's got it. Misses off the window. The rebound covered up by Gusters.
Well, they're trying to go out of Afua and get her 5th foul and get her out of the ball game. Nice job there by Faustine standing tall.
LSU can extend a 7-point lead, 5:38 to go. But Gusters is called for a foul down low on Blackwell. So Gusters and Blackwell trying to establish position. And Gusters was a little bit too ebullient.
Well, I think they got her extending that arm like that. She was trying to establish position, but got more of the arm across the neck, and that's why they called on the offensive foul.
5.5 to go. The lead is 7 for LSU in the fourth quarter. Higginbottom thought about the 3. Hanson does more than think about it. She drills another one. This is a marvelous out-court shooting exhibition by Frank and Hanson. Frank has 6 threes, and so does Hanson. A dozen 3 balls tossed down equally between Haley Frank and Lauren Hanson. And Pointer comes right back with one. Remember, she hit the 3 to close out in the first half.
And Kayla Pointer's 19 points on 6 field goals, and 4 of those 6 are long balls.
And Kayla Pointer had 25 trays coming into the game, by far and away the most effective 3-point shooter for LSU. She's got 29 3 balls right now, and the Tigers will go to the bench when a single game is 15. Missouri in the dark uniforms, owning possession. This is Blackwell, guarded by Gusters. Blackwell goes low and scoops it in. Well, that's what Blackwell can do despite her size and strength, and a Tiger loses a shoe.
We got a blown tire here. Kayla Pointer has to get her shoe back on. They're not going to stop the game, though, so Alexis Morris will handle it.
Boy, this has been a tremendous second, third, and fourth quarter by Blackwell. Blackwell now with 21 points. She had no field goals in the first quarter. Cherry takes the three. Blackwell with another rebound.
And that's the one part of Jalen Cherry's game she shouldn't have to worry about, the three-pointers. Something she just hasn't found comfort in. 2 of 20 from behind the line on the season coming into tonight's game, but she's established that jump shot so nice from 12 to 15 feet.
Blackwell with 21 points and 13 rebounds after a very slow start. Count the bucket, and a foul coming.
Well, that's Haley Troop, who's able to drive the lane and draw the foul. She didn't play in Missouri's last ball game against Arkansas. She did have 16 points and 6 assists in a big game for Missouri against Baylor.
Her father, Kevin, was a point guard in college at Athens State. And she's a throwback. Her favorite player, Larry Bird. A free throw coming for Missouri when we come back. It's a 3-point game, LSU leading.
One minute ago, it was a 6-point LSU lead. It's now a 3-point LSU lead. And the Lady Tigers have found success tonight getting the ball in the paint, attacking, especially Frank on the defensive end. But in general, LSU's had a lot of success in the paint. 36 points so far in the paint tonight. But that's one way to look at the numbers. The other way to look at the number is LSU has 36 paint points, but LSU had 28 at the break. So just 8 second-half paint points for LSU. You see the average on the season, 37.5, and look at the points per game, just under 76, and LSU at 73. So they're on pace to pass both of those. But Lynn, what's more shocking to me is while we've seen all these players opening up for Missouri and finding that range from three-point land, LSU's gotten away from what helped them build that lead, and that was attacking the basket and scoring inside.
And a factor in that has been the injury to Autumn Newby. This game turned in a way when Newby had to leave the game. And she's been in the locker room for several minutes now. Troop at the stripe, can't get it to go. There is Newby. She's back from being examined. She came back on crutches and most assuredly will not return to the lineup tonight. 3.5 to play. Anybody's game. A 3-point LSU lead. Big rebound by Afua. 2 chances won't go. Tigers have a chance for a third shot here.
Well, it's a nice job by Gusters. If she wasn't able to go back up where she was under the backboard, it's a good job of recognizing where her teammates are to kick it out. That might have been just a little rush from Kayla Pointer. There was still 14 on the shot clock and didn't need that one.
Hanson rips off the rebound. Dembele, the point guard, not much of a scorer. Directing traffic, tries to get by Gusters, feeds it across the lane. 3-ball, left wing, yes. Another one from Hanson. 7 3-balls for Hanson. That's 15 triples on the night for Missouri. That ties a season's high, and we've got a brand new ball game at 73. Cherry, pull-up jumper. Oh, big shot.
Again, Hanson came into this ball game having hit 10 of 22 from deep in the last 4 games. She's 7 of 9 tonight from behind the line.
75-73. LSU clinging to a scant 2-point advantage. Missouri owns the basketball. A whistle, a bucket, and a foul.
Give credit to Haley Troop. She drove the lane. And now, because they're so hot from the outside, LSU's extending the defense. There's not the automatic help. Watch as she uses the screen. Jalen Cherry goes behind it, but is never able to catch up on the angle. Kayla Pointer can't get over in time. Faustine Afua, she can't leave Frank because Frank's also been so hot. So that way, Troop takes her right to the basket. Jalen Cherry's on her backside and gets the foul.
That is the first lead for Missouri. It trailed by as many as 13 earlier.
LSU has to find a way to score, but then get one stop on the defensive end because the simple math tells you LSU scoring 2s and Missouri scoring 3s. they're going to come away with the win. LSU's got to find a way to get a bucket and then get a stop.
Afua with a huge offensive rebound and loops it home from down low. Afua claiming that missed LSU shot and turns it into a 1-point Tiger lead with 1:56 to go. LSU in the Maravich Center by 1.
Take a look. Alexis Morris misses from the wing, but there's Faustine Afua. Just goes right up and over Frank, who doesn't do a good job of boxing her out. If Frank puts more of a body in her, you might get the foul called over the back. But she doesn't make contact. Afua uses her size, and great job by Faustine Afua to take it aggressively up to the basket and put it in for LSU.
A huge return shot by Afua. Tigers of LSU by 1. Victor, we talked about it early. Missouri, a team that is very legitimate. Right now playing like an upper-level SEC team. One of the surprises in the league. And there's not a night against anybody where Missouri will be outclassed.
Well, especially when they're shooting like the way they are right now from behind the line. It's been an exhibition on three-pointers.
15 of 27, 55.6% for Missouri on the night.
Well, LSU has won 5 straight in this series, but Missouri hasn't won in this building since 1988.
Dembele can't shoot from there. Kaler Pointer guarding. Somehow that got up and in.
Well, Jalen Cherry that time didn't go deep behind the screen. She tried to fight over, but that time you just have to give Haley Troop credit. She fought down to get the shot on the inside, and Jalen Cherry was there.
Afua, or rather Gusters, makes it happen for LSU. A huge bucket for Hannah Gusters, the transfer from Baylor. She came to LSU along with Kim Mulkey. And Gusters with her 3rd bucket of the game, and back and forth we go. 85 seconds to play in this 4th quarter. 79-78, LSU leading. And it's been Haley Troop the last couple of possessions for Missouri. She's had 9 points after a slow first half, 9 points in the second half, and she has been able to work inside and score from point-blank range when they have not taken the 3-ball.
Yeah, the first drive, because Jalen Cherry went behind the screen, was much more open than that latest drive, Jad, because Jalen Cherry fought on the top. She learned from the first time, and then she went over the top to defend it, and still Haley Troop was able to get to the bucket. As you take a look at the upcoming schedule for Missouri, a tough one that'll be at home against Georgia before they go to Vanderbilt, then Texas A&M. One of the surprise disappointments in the SEC, picked number 2 preseason, but 0 so far in conference play, at Mississippi State and then at Alabama, with back-to-back road games for Missouri to close out the month. On the other side for LSU, Vanderbilt will be coming to Baton Rouge for a noon tip on Sunday. And the Lady Tigers go to Gainesville to take on Florida, with back-to-back road games at Arkansas after that. And we'll close out the month of January at home against number 19 Kentucky. February 7th, they'll go to Oxford to take on the Rebels from Ole Miss.
Victor, this could be a factor. Team fouls. Missouri only has 1 this quarter. LSU has 4. So that indeed could be a factor.
No doubt. No doubt, especially if they get aggressive, because if you're LSU, do you foul? Do they get the bucket and you stay away from fouling? At this point, if you're Faustine Afua, you can't worry about the fact you're playing with 4. You got to do what you can to stop a drive or stop a shot.
Hanson can't shoot the 3 from there. Hanson takes the handoff. Morris almost took it away. A whistle inside. Foul on LSU. I think it's Gusters. That's her 2nd. Make it her 3rd.
That'll be 2 at the line for Blackwell. Missouri's 6 for its last 6 from the floor.
Blackwell is 70% from the free throw line on the season.
5 of 7 now on the night to tie it up at 79.
Blackwell with 22 points. She had 1 point at the end of the first quarter.
1 minute.
We slide inside of a minute. 79 each. Hang on to your chairs, everybody. Tighten the seatbelts.
Missouri playing zone defense to try to avoid the drive to the basket or an easy inside pass.
Pointer takes a three on line, but it rims out, and a foul called on the floor.
It's going to be on Blackwell battling Faustina Fua down on the block.
I'm surprised that Pointer took that three-point shot, though. That's 4 fouls on Blackwell.
If for no other reason to take a shot like that, it's because they took the shot to try to go for a 2-for-1. She had an open look at a three. If she hits it, you know you've got time to get another possession.
That was only the second team foul against Missouri. 10 to shoot. A little more than half a minute left of the game. Cherry lets it rip on line, but long.
That's going to be another foul on Missouri.
Pointer and Cherry collided as they were both trying to chase the missed shot. Missouri's player was also there.
Now, here's the interesting thing if you're LSU. By attacking the offensive glass here, you said hold on to your seats with a minute to go. Missouri has not gotten the ball back since then. This has been all LSU. And with the shot clock at 20 and the game clock at 24, LSU can take this down as close as they can with a shot to almost run out the clock.
There's a 4.6 second difference. Cherry. Morris fades, fires, leaves it short.
Probably too early to take that shot if you're LSU.
And Blackwell grabs the rebound. Missouri has a chance to win with the last possession. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Gusters grabs the rebound. We go to overtime.
You see Kim Mulkey there talking to Alexis Morris, a little more than those in the second half to Missouri, and then LSU able to hold on as Missouri had a layup for a chance to walk out of this arena with a win.
Missouri is 55.5% from the floor from three-point range tonight. LSU with the first possession in the overtime period. Afua sets the pick, but cannot roll inside. Cherry pulls up and scores with a difficult across-the-body jump shot. She had elevation and was able to clear herself with a good look.
Just like she started the ball game with that mid-range jumper. The only difference was the degree of difficulty on that one was higher. She was floating.
18 points. Troop misses it finally from distance.
Well, and there's a stop that LSU so desperately needed at the end of regulation. Cherry again went behind the screen, and Haley Troop, who shoots 30% from behind the line, took the three-pointer and airballed it.
Right now, 4 LSU players on the court have scored in double figures. Cherry 18, Pointer 19, Afua 15, and Morris 15. Good ball movement. Cherry is open, takes a deep deuce, and hits another one.
When we talk about knowing how your game is going too, Troop has 11 points, 5 of 10 from the floor, but she's 0 from behind the line. That last one being an air ball, which hurts Missouri with that empty possession. LSU takes advantage with the score on the other end.
Cherry now with 20. That rolls in. Blackwell did a nice job of dipping that shoulder, not making too much contact, but clearing out just enough space for her 24th point.
Travel.
Morris took a step before she put the ball on the court.
Yeah, she thought about the shot, then she realized, man, I got an opening to the lane, and she started taking off for the lane, but moved the feet beforehand. So there's the give back that LSU didn't want to have.
Well, for Missouri on the court right now, Frank has 19, Blackwell 24, Troop with 11, and Hansen with 23. So a lot of scoring from a lot of people on both sides. Another three in the air. Rimmed out. Blackwell saves that rebound. This for three. A little bit long by Hansen. Another chance for Missouri. 3 minutes to play. Overtime.
Give Missouri credit, too. All of a sudden, they start missing shots that they were hitting every time.
Blackwell scores, and Blackwell is fouled, I believe, by Gusters. That's her fourth.
Missouri earned that bucket in the foul. 3 or 4 opportunities after the offensive end. You see Gusters just grab her by the waist.
No need to make contact right there. A very obvious foul.
Blackwell drives the lane, attacking. Now she left the line early.
She did.
This is going to be a crime for LSU if they don't get this rebound without a Missouri jersey on the lane, and it's all Blackwell, but the official got the right call. She left knowing she was going to miss and left too early to go down the lane.
83 each, 2 minutes and 49 seconds to go in overtime.
Well, she missed her pass on the wing. Alexis Morris is wide open.
Gusters did not see her. This is Pointer. Cherry backs up, takes the three, didn't get it there. Rebound Missouri, taken away by Pointer. Pointer just grabbed that ball after Missouri had controlled the defensive rebound.
Got a full shot clock as a result because Missouri had possession and missed. Again, Jalen Cherry has to know she's 2 for the season from behind the three-point line. If you're LSU, I don't need you to shoot three-pointers.
Morris on the last miss for LSU, 83 each.
Now it's another must-stop for LSU. You don't want to have to keep going for possessions to play catch-up.
Blackwell travels under pressure down low. The Tigers defensively for LSU collapsed on Blackwell as quickly as they could.
Well, both teams feeling a little bit of that word that you said, pressure. Missouri 2 of 5 in the overtime, but 0 for 3 from deep. LSU's 2 of 4, but 2 of those opportunities have been three-pointers.
LSU has a bit of a dilemma, though, because Missouri obviously is a great out-court shooting team, and with Blackwell in the game low, she creates the problem from short range.
Well,
that's going to stay with LSU.
Look, now LSU is getting breaks with Missouri missing three-pointers that they didn't miss at the end of regulation and turning it over here like that off the leg. But if you're LSU, you have to go back to what was giving you the lead in the first place, and that's attacking the basket.
And back to play we go. Jump shot from the wing by Cherry. Does not go. Blackwell with another rebound.
I mentioned Jalen Cherry has 20 points, 2 shy of a career high. She has 9 assists. That is a career high.
Less than a minute and a half to play. The pass is intercepted by Alexis Morris in front of the Missouri bench.
That's a great job by Morris on the defensive rotation. Jalen Cherry and Kayla Pointer had a little bit of miscommunication as Missouri was running a wheel, sending players around the baseline, but Alexis Morris read it just perfectly and jumped in front of that pass.
That's the 4th turnover in overtime for Missouri, and a big pull-up jump shot from the left side by Alexis Morris. Morris with 17, and LSU has a 2-point lead with less than a minute to go. Dembele at the top. This is Troop. I'll be surprised if they don't try to get it down low to Blackwell. 10 seconds to shoot. This for 3 from Dembele, and a rebound by Gusters. And a foul in backcourt against Blackwell, and that will disqualify her. I did not think Missouri had a good possession there. Dembele does not shoot often, and they had Blackwell, who really didn't work to establish possession or position to get the possession low.
Well, of all the players that they have on the floor, that's why Jalen Cherry was laying off of Mama Dembele in terms of when playing defense so far off of her. She only shoots 38% from deep. She's only made 12, and her first attempt tonight was that three-pointer right there. Of all the players Missouri had on the floor, I don't think they were looking at Dembele to launch the shot, but she did in the miss, and then you had to make the foul against LSU because you didn't want them to get an easy possession. It just so happens it was Blackwell that gets the foul, and she fouls out, and she fouls Kayla Pointer.
26 points, 16 rebounds for Blackwell, 12 double-doubles this year, but really a needless foul, too. Well, 90 feet away from the other bucket.
I'm also going to remind you, as good as her numbers are tonight, remember, she was not on the floor at all when they beat South Carolina.
And LSU cannot get it in bounds. Cherry throws it off the hands of Alexis Morris. A misfire on the throw-in. So an unforced error by the Tigers, and Missouri will have the basketball. 30 and a half seconds left in overtime. 30 seconds on the shot clock.
You can see the teammates trying to tell Jalen Cherry, now you got to forget about it. We need you on defense. She can't let that bother. It's a costly turnover, yes, but now Missouri gets the ball under their basket. You got to get that out of your system quick.
LSU back on defense.
They've got Dembele inbounding the ball, so you won't really look for her to come in and try to get a shot.
Hansen gets rid of it to Frank. Poked away momentarily by Afua. Afua playing with 4 fouls.
Missouri called timeout. That's big pressure by Faustine Afua, 25 feet from the basket.
9
layup, so you can't assume they're going to take the long ball. They won a big game like this 2 weeks ago on a driving layup by Lauren Hansen.
Dembele gets it to Troop. Goes down on the baseline, reverses. Knocked away momentarily, and let's see a whistle, and it's going to go, I believe, to LSU.
They're going to take out. No, they're going to take a look.
Okay.
Kim Mulkey's inviting him. She's over at the monitor telling him, come take a look. Let's see if we get a better angle here from where we are sitting courtside. Kayla Pointer with the slap.
Strips it away, and who touched it last? Did Pointer touch it last?
This might give
or
us a
did Troop
look.
touch it last?
Call on the floor is black ball. We are looking at the replay to review this call.
Dee Kantner, you heard her explanation at the scorer's table. I love this feature, Victor. We talked about it earlier. You can't get it any more direct than the referee.
And what's nice is that you don't have to guess as to what they're looking at. You know exactly what they're looking. They tell you what the call was on the floor.
Now, she said possession black ball is the way that was ruled, meaning Missouri would own the possession.
Here comes the block from Pointer. What you're wondering is it doesn't hit her knee, and she doesn't touch it there. So with the way that it looks like the call on the floor is going to stand, and they made the right call. Quick hands by Pointer to avoid the foul. She got the hands in there for the deflection.
If Missouri indeed owns the ball, it will be with 14 seconds left in overtime, 13.8 on the shot clock, and I think that would be, yeah, that would retain because the possession would not change. We'll get it all sorted out in just a few seconds. Give Missouri a great deal of credit. LSU played very well in the first 2 quarters, and at one point had a double-digit lead of 13, and Missouri came back to tie it in the 3rd and 4th quarters. And back and forth, these teams have slugged it out in the final, or the first of what would be the final 5 minutes, if indeed we do not go to another period.
You know, and as we're waiting to see Dee Kantner taking off the headsets, we might get our answer here in just a second. And it is Missouri ball. Lynn, I was just sitting here thinking while we were waiting on that. This is a Missouri Tiger team that 1 year ago was 9-13 in the conference. So was LSU. And here we are tonight watching them go at it with one team having a win over the number 1 team in the country, one team with a 6-point loss. Missouri at 13-3, LSU at 15-2. And it has lived up to quite the billing of 2 teams just going back and forth.
Mama Dembele will trigger it from the baseline for Missouri.
And you notice Missouri's overloaded the right side of the floor.
Gusters is guarding the ball. A whistle and a foul called, and Missouri will be at the stripe with a chance to tie. 13 seconds to go.
Kayla Pointer was saying all ball. You see how Jalen Cherry's yelling at Kayla Pointer. Kayla said all ball. They called the foul on Jalen Cherry. And that sends Haley Troop to the free throw line. 65% shooter coming into the night. Here's another look.
Troop is 1 for 2 tonight. 65.5% for the season.
Well, here's where if you're Gusters and you're Faustine Afua, you have to get in. You've got to pinch.
This for the tie with 13 seconds left. Troop rattled the first one in. and calmly makes the adjustment on the second one and strokes the bottom of the twine. We've got an 85-85 game. LSU will have possession, 13 seconds to go. Victor, plenty of time to run a few options.
First and foremost, does Missouri try to come pressure you in the backcourt like they did earlier? Because the last time you tried it inbounds, you threw it away. So the first thing for LSU, you've got to get the ball in safely. Once you do, I would look for the ball to be in Kayla Pointer's hands. And if she tries to use a double screen with Gusters and Afua up top, that gives her the option to drive if it's there, or look for the kick out.
You know, it's interesting because as you watched shoot around for LSU today, this scenario was actually practiced.
It was amazing. They were doing all sorts of scenarios. Let's go full court, 5 or 6 seconds with no timeouts. Let's go side out of bounds, 10 seconds, 1 timeout. Coach Mulkey had them going through all sorts of situations and scenarios in the game that they had to go through. There you see the points leaders, Cherry with 22 shy of a career high. Pointer, Morris, and Afua all with more than 15. Here comes the ball to Pointer.
This is Cherry, dribbles it once, Pointer fakes left, dribbles right, drop step, lays it up and in! 5.7 seconds to go. Pointer splits the defense and scores on the scoop.
No timeouts from Missouri, so you got to play defense if you're LSU.
Dembele has it blocked away from behind by Morris. This game is over. Wow! What a finish! A few days ago, Missouri beats South Carolina in overtime on a layup. Tonight, LSU beats Missouri on a Pointer layup. Watch Kayla.
Look at the Missouri defenders. They were worried about the dump off with the pass, and nobody pitches in the middle. Here's another look. It's her against Hansen. Hansen tries to just whip at it from behind and knock it loose. Nobody in the black jersey converges in the middle, which leaves a wide open lane. And then on the other end, LSU did a nice job of picking up everybody as Mama Dembele drives the lane. It's just her second field goal attempt of the night. Gets blocked, and LSU comes away with an exhausting